One rocket rolling off every 20 days. Next one on the pad soon. That is the most recent tweet from Mr. Peter Vacq. He is the CEO, CTO, and the founder of Rocket Lab. He founded Rocket Lab in 2006, and it is an American company with a subsidiary and head office in Auckland, New Zealand. Now, this company is focused on delivering innovative, high-quality technologies to the space industry. Peter Vacq's vision was and still is to eliminate the commercial barriers to space. Now, Rocket Lab was the first private company to reach space in the southern hemisphere in 2009 with its Atia-1 suborbital sounding rocket. The success earned contracts with major players like Lockheed Martin, DARPA, and Aerojet Rocketdyne. Okay, now their pride and joy, named Electron, is a lightweight, cost-effective rocket and the world's first carbon composite launch vehicle, specializing in sending small satellites into orbit more easier. Okay, now we're going to get right into a whole bunch of news. Rocket Lab obviously is trading under ticker VACQ. They are going to be merging. This is Vector Acquisition. They will be merging into Rocket Lab. But we're going to get right into all this recent news. Today is July 2nd of 2021, and a news report came out today that Rocket Lab, indeed, their CEO, Peter Vacq, says more than 400 staff have been granted shares as a high-performance bonus. Okay, if the NASDAQ listing, when Vector Acquisition, ticker, like I was saying, VACQ, merges with Rocket Lab, hits its anticipated valuation, more than 100 employees will hold stock worth at least $1 million, and more than 180 employees will hold a stake worth more than $500,000. Okay, now another news article was June 28, 2021. Peter Vacq will retain at least 12.2% stake in Rocket Lab, worth about $545, when the company he founded lists on the NASDAQ exchange within the next few months. It's expected to be completed before the end of September with a value of about $4.5 billion. Also, Kozla Ventures, a California venture capital company owned by Sun Microsystems co-founder Vinod Kozla, will be the biggest shareholder with at least a 25.8% stake. Okay, now this is a quote from Vinod Kozla talking about Rocket Lab. This is quote: "We are thrilled to be investing in the next chapter of Rocket Lab's development as they drive down cost of launch vehicles to provide greater access to space." End quote. Now, after the merger, Rocket Lab is expected to have $750 million cash on its books to fund the development of its new, larger Neutron rocket. That's what's got a lot of people extremely excited about this company. Now, another new news article was June 24th. Rocket Lab completed their second launch pad at Mahia Peninsula, which makes 3 launch pads across 2 countries. Okay, that's 2 of them at Mahia, and we got the other launch pad is at Wallops Island in Virginia, here in America. So that is huge. That's making launch windows available every 72 hours a real possibility. So shouts out to Rocket Lab. That's extremely exciting. Another news article we got here is June 18th of 2021. Rocket Lab has been awarded by the University of California, Berkeley to design 2 Photon spacecraft named Blue and Gold for a scientific mission to Mars. These 2 Photon spacecraft will orbit around Mars to understand the structure, composition, variability, and dynamics of Mars' unique hybrid magnetosphere. This will be dubbed the Escapade mission. This will help study how, quote, the solar wind strips atmosphere away from Mars to better understand how its climate has changed over time. That quote, end quote, that quote was from the University of California, Berkeley's Space Sciences Laboratory, who is running the Escapade mission. Now, the Escapade is being developed under NASA's Small Innovative Missions for Planetary Exploration program. So Rocket Lab is very close with NASA. Now, June 16th of 2021, this is another news article. Rocket Lab will launch world's first wooden satellite. This is so extremely exciting. Expecting to be launched from their Mahia Peninsula launch site later of 2021. This plywood satellite, designed in Finland, will launch as part of a mission to test the behavior and durability of wood for possible future missions. Okay, the plywood is very similar to what you would find in a hardware store, but this is a quote from Woodsat Chief Engineer Somali Nyman. The quote here is, quote, "The main difference is that ordinary plywood is too humid for space use, so we place our wood in a thermal vacuum chamber to dry it out. Then we also perform atomic layer deposition, adding a very thin aluminum oxide layer." Okay, end quote. The thin layer of aluminum oxide is to prevent the wood from releasing any gas into the space environment. This satellite will have 2 cameras, one of those with a selfie stick attached to show the mission team back on Earth how the plywood reacts to the extreme conditions of space. And this is a quote from Rocket Lab Senior Vice President of Global Launch Processes, Mr. Lars Hoffman. Quote, "We're proud to provide access to orbit for this innovative mission," end quote. This is extremely innovative. This could be game-changing, guys. So, at this point, I believe it is a fair time to mention that space sentiment is optimistic currently with Astra completing their merger, and obviously with Sir Richard Branson going to space July 11th. Everyone is very excited about space potential, but space is hard, and normally companies fail quite a few times along the journey, and this is why I love Rocket Lab so much. They have had 17 successful launches, but have failed 3 times. Okay, each time they fail, they gather loads of data, and also they learn from their mistakes from that data gathered. Now, their most recent launch, they failed. However, I'm not getting any worry at all about it. On May 15th of 2021, I watched Rocket Lab launch into orbit using their Electron. The video and audio made it feel so real and in person. Shout outs to Rocket Lab and Everyday Astronaut on YouTube for streaming that event. It was incredible, guys. Now, after a successful launch, they ran into issues with the stages separating and sadly lost the second stage containing the 2 Black Sky satellites. However, the other half of the mission, and some would argue being the more important goal, was to retrieve Electron's first stage containing 9 Rutherford engines. Not only did they retrieve it, but all performed as designed with no issues. The ocean splashdown using a parachute was a successful form of retrieving the first stage unharmed. They did it. Reusability. Okay. Also in the spotlight was the company's use of a redesigned heat shield, stainless steel instead of aluminum. Rocket Lab said it appeared to function well, as it protected the stage from extreme heat. Now, this was a quote from the company talking about the problem they had. Quote, "Preliminary data reviews suggest an engine computer detected an issue shortly after stage 2 engine ignition, causing the computer to command a safe shutdown as it is designed to do," end quote. So at least it did what it was supposed to do. That is huge. Okay, but looking forward, they still have Rocket Lab has a contracted NASA. I'm sorry about that. NASA has contracted Rocket Lab to launch Capstone aboard an Electron rocket from Wallops Lab, Virginia, sometime in 2021. Okay. Now, they will be launching CubeSat on Electron to get into an initial Earth orbit. From there, they'll be using Rocket Lab's Photon satellite bus, okay, to use as propulsion systems to gradually raise their orbit over a 3-month period before ultimately adding enough energy for a translunar injection. That sounds so crazy. It's so insane. They're going to be able to use this as kind of like a staging area for missions to the moon and beyond. I think that's all extremely incredible. Also, for Rocket Lab, They have a major investor. Michael Burry is a believer in Rocket Lab. Okay, it was revealed that that Michael Burry does have a long position in shares of Vacq Acquisition, which is bringing obviously Rocket Lab public, and this is a true competitor to SpaceX. And this is according to Elon Musk. I have heard this word for word. Actually, Elon Musk was the first person I heard about Rocket Lab from over a year ago. Is what got me so excited, actually, and gave me the exposure to Rocket Lab. So, and he's saying it is like the only other credible private space company there is. Period. Okay, so Burry said previously that SPACs were not properly vetted, but Rocket Lab was his exception because of its ties to the space industry. Some are speculating that a bet on Rocket Lab is also a bet against SpaceX. I don't know, though. I think there's always going to be a couple winners, right? Especially them two. May 15th. Now, okay, so I think that is extremely exciting. Michael Burry is normally like the big short, and he is long position in shares of Rocket Lab. What do you guys think about Rocket Lab? I'm extremely excited to be announcing all the news that will be coming up about these wooden satellites, the next launch. So if you like the video, please hit a thumbs up for Meet Jeremy here. So, you know, we can get YouTube to maybe recommend this video to other space people that enjoy space as well as much as me and you guys. So thank you again. Hit that thumbs up for me, and subscribe if you want updates on truly innovative companies. I try to keep them fresh and as efficient as I possibly can. I'm so blessed for all of you joining me here today. It's been a great day. It's been a space week, and it's going to be a space future. So I'm extremely excited for everything. And as always, I hope everyone has a truly great day. We'll see you next time. Thank you.